This is Lorraine Ball,
And Jennifer Denny?
and this morning we're going to talk about content planning.
Yes, it's all in the planning.
You make that sound so evil, but I, I actually think of content planning and getting that roadmap there as just almost a lifeline for a business owner.
I'm a planner. I have plan A, B, and C. Like, I don't do anything without a plan. That doesn't mean that's not the plan that ends up happening, but I'm planning. I'm definitely planning.
I I started social media and marketing and I stumbled into it, and it was sort of every morning you'd wake up and you'd wonder, okay, what do we do today? And that was great when I started my business and I didn't have a lot of like real business. But as you get busier and customers are requiring you to do things for them, social media starts to fall and content development starts to fall down a little bit. And I think a plan is really how you organize your time and get ahead of it so it stays manageable.
My life is color coded.
Uh, so, all right. So let's start there with your color coded life. When you're developing a content plan, what are the pieces of that puzzle that you have to have in place?
So I think the first thing that I think about is what type of content do I need? And I think there's a lot of different answers to that. Do you have a couple that you like to do?
Well, I will tell you that I approach it. Maybe I step back a little bit because I'm an old school marketing geek, and I'm going to look at it from okay, this is my customer, and I know that you do this even though you didn't say it because you always talk about what's the objective, but I take a look at who's the customer and what do we want to tell this customer, let's say over the next 30 days. And I actually map out themes. Okay. So
Mhm.
January, the topic is this, and February is this. And then, okay, so that's our theme. Then I break it down and go, all right, every month I know I want newsletters. I know I want social media posts. There's going to be an ad, there's going to be a video, but everything, not 30 days worth of posts tie back to that theme, but that theme kind of weaves through the month. And then I fill in the blanks with other stuff to make sure the month doesn't get boring.
You're right. You're right. I mean, you gotta look at that first. I was getting ahead of myself. I was getting excited.
So when you're putting the pieces together and you're color coding, do you have a tool that you like?
So we use our project management system a lot, Asana. Uh,
Mhm.
we very much have from the top of planning the topics to once that topics, then what type is it going to go into, and then where is that content going to be placed at, and rinse, repeat, approval process. Like it's pretty, yeah,
Well,
checklist.
and I think whether you're working with an agency or you're doing it on your own or you are an agency trying to make sense out of all of this, we have a noisy cat out here today.
Oh,
Um,
kitties.
whether regardless of what where you fit in that spectrum, outlining a step-by-step process so you don't miss something.
Planning to fail is failing to plan. Or
Mhm.
wait, plan, not planning.
Failing to plan is planning to fail. Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
I don't really get up in the morning and go, you know what, I'm going to screw up today. That's normally what I want to
It comes at me.
know. But I think I also, with my themes, that's usually what I use as the cornerstone. So I'll create a blog post because to me, a good blog post is that center, it's that core that everything else anchors off of. So now I've got a 600 words, and I can slice it and dice it into little snippets. I
Yeah.
can record an audio track. I can do, a lot of the conversations that we have come directly from one of your blog posts or one of mine.
Yeah. Constantly writing is, you have to do it.
Mhm. Well, but if you anchor it correctly, you write it once and you repeat, repeat, link, reuse, connect,
Break it down.
redirect.
Yep. Smaller bits of information, video, not video. Yep. All different ways that you can reuse the same topic.
And back in the day when we first started blogging, this was before businesses could be on Facebook. Twitter was kind of a thing, but it was small. People actually came to your blog and they commented on your blog, and you got a lot of engagement and interaction, and that's gone. That really doesn't happen anymore, and it kind of makes me sad, but that's the truth. The only people that comment now want to sell me some absurd device that I'm not quite sure what you use it for.
SEO in 2 weeks. We got you.
So you really keep your content alive and give it that afterlife with all this other posting.
Yeah.
We actually really love Google Docs and Google Sheets, and I was very resistant because I say this a lot. I'm old school, but creating the content in a Google Sheet that you can share with multiple people and they can comment and interact and give you other tips and suggestions, and
Yeah.
having that all in one place
Yeah.
makes it really easy.
Yeah, we're a big fan of Google Docs. Love off Google. I don't, I know Google can be not, and keep your enemy close sometimes, but like, yeah, we keep a lot of that inside of there. But Asana is just where I can like assign tasks
Mhm.
to different people who are taking care of different items, and you might have that on your team as well. So,
Yeah, we right now we are using Teamwork, and it allows us to do again that same type of thing. We've used Insightly. I think if you are solopreneur, if you are not going to be sharing your tasks with other people, and you're just looking for reminders for yourself, personally, I'm using Todoist, and it's lovely. It's limited. So if you envision that your business is going to grow, you may not want to go down the Todoist path. You might want to use something like Insightly or Asana that will grow with you.
yeah, yeah. I know a couple episodes back, I think one thing that people really get caught up on is like, what do I write about? And we had an episode where we kind of went through, how to get those different resources to come up with topics. It's not as hard as it seems if you got the right tool.
Absolutely. And, one of the things, this is again, reusing, repurposing. This episode, not only will it live here on the platform that you're watching it on, you can find all of the recordings on the Digital Toolbox Small Biz Chat. So you can go back and see what else we've talked about.
Yep, and this can be chopped up into smaller bits, and we can make tips out of it, and we can do all kinds of stuff. I personally don't like to write. I like to talk, but I don't like to write. So this is my favorite form.
It's funny because I have earned a living writing for the last 20 years. And it's really funny when you realize I'm not a writer. That is not my core. This talking, doing presentations, give me a PowerPoint. Not that I'm going to get buried in the weeds with that, but give me an opportunity to talk and teach in a structured manner. I love that. And I have found all sorts of tricks to transcribing what I say to turning it into written content, because I know the written content is important.
Yeah,
And I also know that the more you practice, the better you get at it.
yeah.
And I would still rather just talk to people.
I was thinking about that though the last night. I think about as we were going to do this is I kind of do the writing. Like I have the topics laid out, and I do end up talking about it. It's just I don't know. I went to a high school that suffered with English, and
Mhm.
I sometimes don't use the right words, and I'm like, oh, somebody's going to nail me on that. Editor. I need an editor. I have one, but
Yeah, I've had fabulous editors when I was writing. At Round Peg, there was a period where I was writing 7 days a week. I
you are
was
insane.
well, but you know what? Back then, blog posts were 200 and 300 words, so I could knock them out.
True.
Today it is quality over quantity, and I think that's where I maybe want to close out this conversation.
Yeah.
It is really stressing, instead of writing 4 mediocre blog posts, write one and then have a plan to market the crap out of it.
Fully cover the topic that you're talking about better than anybody else, and you're going to be good.
Awesome. Jennifer, thanks. This was great this morning.
Always fun.
All right, guys, we are going to be back here next Friday morning. And if you just got to have more of us in between, check out digitaltoolbox.club and look for the Small Biz Chat.
Take care, guys.
Bye now.